In an ordinary house, family life went on as usual from the morning. The children discussed school, and although many things seemed mundane, the atmosphere was filled with a certain strangeness. It all started when the mother asked the children how their day at school had been. But instead of a simple answer, the conversation turned odd and somewhat absurd. The children mentioned a backup hooligan, who, according to them, couldn't do anything right. And then it became clear that the rehearsed phrases on the paper for the teachers caused confusion. Additionally, it became known that everyone had to sign some important papers for the upcoming school trip to Washington. It turned out that instead of the usual teachers, the trip would be chaperoned by Chris and Meg's mother, Lois Griffin, who was planning to bring her own strange and absurd ideas into the situation. She claimed she was going to be the cool mom, but her excessive confidence and naivety immediately caused discontent among the children. She handed out candies and tried to do everything she could to get the kids to see her as the cool mom. However, her efforts were not very successful. Lois tried to connect with the kids at the pool by telling them how she got her new swimsuit. But as soon as she started her story, the kids, clearly not understanding what she was trying to do, silently turned around and left. Soon, old memories begin to surface in the conversation. Shepard decides to share the story of his first love, Lois, a story about how he once worked at a store and met a woman named Shelly Barnes. He was crazy about her. They got together and opened a failed Taco Bell Pizza Hut, which became the source of many of his life's misfortunes. These memories intertwine with her current emotions, as she still can't let go of her own failed love. Soon, everyone's attention shifts to the disappearance of the school principal, Shepard. He vanishes during the trip, causing widespread concern. The students, overtaken by panic, begin searching for him. A discussion even breaks out on the bus about who could take over driving if the principal is no longer present. The inexperienced and overly nervous principal runs away, leaving behind a trail that Lois and the kids decide to uncover. In their search for him, they encounter a series of strange situations, and it soon becomes clear that Shepard had been searching for his lost love, Shelly Barnes, whom he had once broken up with over the failed Taco Bell Pizza Hut venture, which led to a tragic incident in their lives. Everything happening on and around the bus raised more questions than answers. The kids, despite their dislike of the situation, had to put up with it. Eventually, the bus continued on its way, but the atmosphere inside remained strange and absurd. It turns out that Principal Shepard hadn't actually run away. He had just played a little prank to divert attention from what really mattered: his upcoming reunion with his former love, Shelly. Shepard decides to seek forgiveness and reconciliation, despite all his past failures. His journey leads to a meeting with Shelly, who seemingly has moved on with her life, in spite of her past mistakes and unfulfilled dreams. In the end, it turned out that Shelly lived in the house next door, but the conversation with her ended with a candid confession. Her life hadn't turned out the way she had expected, and her attempts to open a Taco Bell Pizza Hut restaurant had also ended in failure. Ultimately, the principal, having failed to mend the relationship, is forced to confront a difficult truth. The past he had once romanticized is, in fact, far more complicated, messy, and painful than he had ever allowed himself to believe. What he thought would be a moment of closure or rekindled connection instead becomes a sobering reminder of missed chances, unresolved regrets, and the weight of choices that can't be undone. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel.